from PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's time for the podcaster who's looking at shingles. And I think there's something about putting out your own shingle. Is that a saying somewhere? And then I thought, but this is like while I was waiting for, like I'm recording from a car. I had to run the air conditioning for a few minutes so the car, because I'm sitting in the car. It is evening, but I'm in Florida. So I had to cool it down as a band used to say. I could think of my brain said Tony, Tony, Tone, but I know that's not it. It's, I remember, you say, how did you get, I was going to talk about the single shingle. Has that ever, would that be a good story? Would anybody buy that book? The Single Shingle. It does sound like a children's book about the lonely shingle. I mean, just because you're single doesn't mean you're lonely. Trust me. Well, anyway, welcome to Sleep With Me. The podcast that's here to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff. It has a bit of self-deprecation, but only in between the words nowadays. For the past 9 years. Anything self-deprecating I say is purely inferred, even when it comes to single shingles. Or I could hang. I say, hey, shingle, what if I could wear you on my head? Like that's where shingles go, right on the top. And that would be a look. They'd say, is that a flap on you? What are you wearing, a flap? Well, actually, believe it or not, I'm trying to start a sleep podcast. I've gone off topic a few times, on a tangent. But no, that's a shingle. Just a shingle, not shingles. Yeah. Welcome to Sleep With Me, the podcast that's here to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff so you could fall asleep. I'm here to be your friend in the deep, dark night. You're bored. That stuff I say later. Sorry, I'm so distracted by the shingle thing. Also, not to get too deep, but I'm looking at condos or split level, whatever, I don't know, interconnected homes. And the shingles on one roof are a slightly different shade than the other, which is nice. Well, some are more of a reddish shade and some are more of an orangish shade. Now, if you're new, welcome. Again, I'm going to try to welcome you again. This is Sleep With Me. It's a sleep podcast here to keep you company instead of put you to sleep, to be your friend in the deep, dark night, distract you and take your mind off of stuff so you could drift off. The show is a bit different. So basically, I'm going to talk and go off topic and ramble, not make a lot of sense, be a little bit silly, a little bit goofy. I don't know, to kind of put you at ease and make bedtime less lonely, like that lonely shingle out there. I don't know what a lonely shingle would do, because it'd definitely be lonely, because you say, well, you can't cover, obviously you're not going to cover a roof alone. Maybe that's, there you go, there's the moral of the story. My mother always said, you can't cover a roof alone. I'm pretty sure it's the shingle code, but, yeah. So anyway, welcome to Sleep With Me. It's a podcast to keep you company in the night and to talk off to dreamland. And if you're new, I'm glad you're here. This show does take some getting used to, obviously. So give it a few tries, see how it goes, what we got coming up. All regular listeners, welcome back. And shingles and fans of shingles out there, if you got a roof, you might have you may or may not have a shingle. Hopefully you got more than one, unless it's a bit huge shingle. I know nothing about them, so I should probably move on. And yeah, a great idea. But so yeah, what we got coming up is support. So paying for the show is optional. Then a long meandering intro, which is somehow kind of, even this beginning one is like an intro already. And that's meant to ease you into bedtime. Then, and then later on, we'll have a bedtime story. It'll be our episodically modular series Multiplex. So that's it, and I'm really glad you're here, and here's a couple ways we're able to do this for you for free twice a week.
Nah, not quite.
What's up?
Sell my car on Carvana. It's just not quite the right time.
Crazy coincidence. I just sold my car to Carvana.
What? I told you about it 2 days ago.
When you know, you know. You know? I'm even dropping it off at one of those sweet car vending machines and getting paid today.
That's a good deal.
Oh, great deal. Come on. What's your heart saying?
You're right. When you know...
You know.
Sold.
Whether you're looking to sell your car right now or just whenever feels right, go to Carvana.com and sell your car the convenient way. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, everybody, Scoots here. This is part of the podcast where I talk about Sleep With Me Plus. And now, as many of you know, the podcast business has changed, and we really count on listener support to keep the show going. But right now, I'm just talking to one listener, and maybe that's you. Maybe you're nodding your head. Maybe you're leaning forward, but you're paying attention to what I'm saying. And if that's a yes, and then do you listen to Sleep With Me on a regular basis? Is that a yes? Does Sleep With Me make your life better? Does it put a smile on your face? And you feel like Sleep With Me makes your nights better so your days can be better. I want to ask you if you could support the show. Like, would you give up something disposable or some small luxury or some other streaming service that you don't use as much to support something that means something to you? So if you're still listening to me and you're hearing me, and if you're in a position where you could support, I'd love for you to join Sleep With Me Plus. And so it's a question of getting hold of that one person, like, that is listening. That's been the biggest thing I didn't realize until this month is like, oh, most people understandably just aren't listening to me and hearing me. They believe all the other stuff, but maybe they're not going to hear this message. So I need the person that's hearing me that believes in the show to support it. So if that's you, don't wait. Go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Because when you sign up to support the show, you're saying, yes, I was listening, Scoots. I heard you. And this podcast is important to me. And I want it to be around for me and everybody else that listens. You're that one person who wants to make a difference. Please sign up for Sleep With Me Plus right now. You already value the show. It's already changed your life. I just got to get through to you. So thanks so much. Oh, Mystery Bard, a lot of people help on the show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Poster Son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the Legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound or on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. Remember, you could also get access to Sleep With Me Plus by referring people to free podcasts. You sign up for our referral program at sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. REFER, sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. You get a unique link. You share that on a regular basis. And then you get rewarded with months of Sleep With Me Plus. What do you say we slow it down and get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake, whether that's thoughts on your mind, like thoughts you're thinking about the past, the present, the future. Think of thoughts, that are keeping you awake. For me, that's one of the things that keeps me awake. And it could even be thoughts left over from the day. So it could be thoughts, it could be feelings, anything coming up for you emotionally related to those thoughts, or feelings that are coming back from the day, or feelings that are just there. It could be physical sensations, changes in time, temperature, routine, work schedule. You could be going through something. You could be getting over something. You could be traveling. You could be a guest. You could have guests. Whatever it is that's keeping you awake. The reason I like to go through all that is so you get a sense that you're not alone in the deep, dark night. The idea of the show is, I'm talking for your benefits. But there are other people out there listening, and as strange as it sounds, they care about you. And you say, well, they don't know me. Why would they care about me? And that's a reasonable, great question, by the way, not to pander, but have you met did you notice I'm wearing a shingle on my head? No, believe it or not, it's not a fashion statement. It's a comfort statement. I'm no longer lonely. Well, I mean... in another sense, I'm more lonely than ever. Ever since I started wearing the shingle, there was a brief peak where people noticed me, but not in the way that would... but yeah, I've never felt less alone. Well, yeah, I guess it didn't work out. But yeah, I am wearing a shingle. But I was also trying to say you're not alone in the sense... You say, oh yeah, what do you mean the people listening care about me? Here's the thing. Even if I can't relate to how it feels for you at bedtime or how it feels when you can't sleep, even if you're going through something, you've been through something so different, you say, Scoots, you can't relate. I mean, I'd say I might be able to or I'd like to, but the best part is there's someone listening right now, someone else in the world, at least one person, probably more than one, who can relate to pretty close to exactly how you feel. They've been through something very similar, and they are really glad you're here. They actually do care about you because they know how it feels. They know what it's like. And for them, this podcast has helped them out, so they're kind of perking up in bed, hoping you're the one shingle to be worn around town. Probably be better if I dressed formally. I guess it could be on a belt buckle or a tie. But, sorry, I was just, figuring out the best place for my shingle. On my head, because I guess you probably have a lot of tar on you. I guess I'm assuming. I don't mean to make make assumptions about shingles, because I know nothing, but I can talk about them. I'm just saying, you're a lonely shingle. I'm a lonely single. What do you say we team up and see where we can go? I mean, basically, you'll be going wherever I go, which is I don't know. Maybe we could just sit on my couch and contemplate doing stuff. I'm really good at that. Or making a plan and then saying, "Oh boy, it's too late now to go." Did I say I would be there at 5:30? Because it's like 4:45 and I still gotta, so better off, we'll do it next time. So if that's the life, but so those people that care about you, they know how it feels and they're really glad you're here, because when they found this podcast, they were like, what is this guy talking about? I thought this was a sleep podcast. This guy's just going on and on and on about roofing, or what he presumes is roofing material. I mean, he's using roofing material for material. And I say, well, I don't think that's meta unless I was actually doing it. Like if I was say, yeah, it keeps the rain off this one shingle. I mean, off only the spot where the shingle is, and then it usually runs down the front of my face because of the way the shingle drains. But that's how I know the shingle's there. So, and also when it pulls at my hair anytime I move, and also it catches the wind, but it's still stuck to me. It's like a musical, the single and the shingle. Like I know that song's probably, like there's got to be a song, I'm Stuck on You. I know there's more than one. Could sing that to the shingle. Give me musicals that were never made for $500, Alex. What is a terrible idea? The single and the shingle. What's one of the worst ideas for me? The single and the shingle? Give me musicals that were never made, starting with the letter S. Okay, anyway, where was I? Oh, people care about you. Sorry, for some reason, usually I don't get distracted during the serious part because I am serious about being here to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff. And the people that the podcast works for are grateful. But yeah, when they first got here, like a lot of people, it takes 2 or 3 tries to get used to the show. So you may be doubtful or skeptical. And that totally makes sense because you're like, this dude, you're just going to talk on and on and on about nothing. No, eventually there'll be like somewhat of a plot, episodically modular story. But yeah, I'm here to distract, barely entertain you, barely make you smile. So what I do is I send my voice across the deep dark night. I use lulling, soothing, creaky dulcet tones, pointless meanders and superfluous tangents. Which means I go off topic, I get mixed up, I forget what I was talking about, which you've kind of already witnessed. And my voice is not traditionally soothing, and the show does take some getting used to. Now, there's some people that loathe me so strongly, they'll never listen again. Or sometimes they actually do listen a couple more times, and then they really let me have it. But here's the thing, if you're that kind of person or you're getting close to that place, I have a website set up for you, sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you, where you could check out other sleep podcasts and stuff like that, because you still deserve a good night's sleep, even if you don't like it, it's cool. You're in good company, believe it or not. But so yeah, people have strong feelings about the show. Why wouldn't you? You're having trouble getting to sleep. You want to find something that helps. You've been searching for something, or somebody recommended the show. Also, this is a podcast you don't really listen to. You just kind of barely listen, which is hard to get used to as well. It's kind of like background noise or out of focus picture, or one of like those 3D, I don't know what they were called. The ones you were supposed to stare at but not look at, and then you'd see dolphins. It was back in the 90s in shopping malls, even though I don't think we had one for this show. Maybe we did. And so it takes some getting used to. Listen to a podcast you just barely need to. You just say, well, I kind of listen to that show. It kind of barely entertains me. It's always going nowhere, always never getting started. Also, I've been making the show over 10 years, and it's a sleep podcast. And when I started, there wasn't this idea of adult sleep podcast wasn't really a thing. But even though that's true, like, this show does not put you to sleep. I'm here to keep you company while you fall asleep, to be your boar friend, your boar bae, your boar sib, your boar bud, your neighbor, your boar bestie, your boar burr, your boar bee, your boar friend, your boar bestie forever. I'm here to keep you company while you fall asleep. There's no pressure to fall asleep with this show. There's a reason the show's over an hour. It's because there's people listening who can't sleep at all, or who wake up and need the show or need a break during the day. So I'm here to the very end, whether you're listening or asleep. And because that's my job. The other thing that can throw people off is the structure of the show. So let me just explain the structure of the show. It's designed in a very particular way, but you can adjust the structure if you become a regular listener and you find you have a little bit different preference. But let me explain how the show's structured and the way it works. To meet you where you are and maybe to put your mind at further ease. And you say, okay, this show makes perfect sense that it makes no sense. So the show starts off with a greeting, friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And I say something silly. This time it was about shingles because I'm just sitting looking at a roof in a car. And that's so you feel seen and welcomed in. You say, okay, I might check that podcast out. It sounds nice enough. Or I don't know what this dude's talking about, but at least he sounds kind and caring-ish. Then there's support. So the podcast, paying for it's optional. It comes out twice a week. If you prefer an ad-free experience, you can get that on Sleep With Me Plus. But most people listen to this ad-supported version linearly. So after the support is a long, meandering intro made to ease you into bedtime. It explains what the podcast is very inefficiently because I get distracted so many times. but it does follow a familiar structure. So as you become a regular listener, what up, my regular listeners? You say, oh, okay, he's going to talk about this, and then he's going to get lost in between there. But you never know what I'm going to get lost in between about, or what particular subject matter I'm going to draw my attention. I mean, I don't know if they'd put me on a run. I'd be too self-conscious. No, I'd love to go down a runway, actually, with a shingle. I mean, fully closed, but with a shingle somewhere. Or to work at, I mean, I don't think I'm not saying it's going to be like a shingle couture, or like a thing. I'm just, just thinking a lot about shingles because I'm looking at them. And yeah, to answer your next question, like if I was staring at like a pile of grapefruits, I'd probably be talking about a pile of grapefruits. What was my point? Oh, the intro goes on and on and on, because not only is it supposed to inefficiently introduce what the podcast is and be familiar, but it's supposed to give you a buffer between being awake and asleep to ease you into bedtime. That's why it's like 15 or 20 minutes long, because most people are getting ready for bed or winding down. There are people that fall asleep, but for most people, like they're doing some sort of chill wind down activity, or they're just, getting, for most of us, like having somewhat of a way to ease into bed is just what works. And some people love intros so much they support the show so they can get all intro episodes like twice a month. But if you prefer something without intros, Bedtime Stories from Sleep With Me is available in any podcast app you want. So check that out. Then after the intro support, then it'll be our episodically modular series Multiplex. And yeah, that's it. I'm really glad you're here. I work really hard. So do a team of people. We yearn and we strive. We really want to help you fall asleep. Thanks again for coming by. And here's a couple ways we're able to do this for you for free twice a week. Sleep With Me podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, ZocDoc. And there's so many things in life that feel like you're rolling the dice, right? Like you get up and you're like, today I'm going to try something new. It might be a new type of milk in your coffee, a milk alternative. Maybe you're like, you know what? I'm going to try that new workout class. I'm going to try to mix it up, Or maybe it's even ordering food from a new takeout spot. You never know how it's going to turn out. But finding the right doctor should not be like rolling the dice. And with ZocDoc, it's not, because you've got more options than you know. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skin care, and much more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, who are located nearby, who are a good fit for any medical need you might have, and are highly rated by verified patients. You can also see their actual appointment openings. And then you choose a time that works for you and click instantly to book a visit. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. Now, recently, I've used ZocDoc to search for eye doctors because I got to get my eyes checked. I got to update my prescription. So you should check it out, too. So stop putting off those doctor appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/sleep to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/sleep. ZocDoc.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, welcome to our episodically modular series Multiplex. And this is an episodically modular series with a touch of seriality. And what that means is you can listen to it in any order, though there's a story within the story. I don't even know what that means. I mean, I do, but it's like what episodically modular means. You can listen to it in any order. The main character is going to catch up on everything that happened. In fact, the previous episode from this one, the character really caught up on stuff. So if you listen to that episode, this episode definitely could be episode number 1. And, but whatever happens, the character will catch up. You could listen to these in order if you want to, or you could kind of barely listen, fall asleep, and then listen to them in order down the road in the future. I mean, if I could tell you how many movies, albums, artists, are on my, one day to listen to, watch list. Holy moly, right? So, yeah, I'm really glad you're here. And this is our series Multiplex about friends in a shopping mall, solving, helping each other solve things. And without further ado, wow, now this is really a treat. Can I say that? I'm in a car in Florida. Oh, boy, did you just see that? There's 2 cardinals out there that just flew by. But I'm in a car in Florida. And this is like we have a Hollywood announcer. He comes from the greater Los Angeles area. And I would say, there used to be a song, the greatest, Los Angelino is sitting beside me. If I was singing that song, when I say it as a statement, it's true. Even though I don't know exactly where he lives. And I think they just say Angelino. But I don't think the greatest Angelino is sitting beside me. No, that actually works. It works better than saying Los Angelino. And that's just in my opinion. I know you say, well, wait a second, what about? And I say, well, in my opinion, that would be in parentheses, the greatest Angelino. You say, well, where did he grow up? Okay, well, somebody's really trying to poke holes in our argument. I was just trying to say the greatest Angelino is sitting beside me. And those cardinals you see those? They're on that palm branch. But he's here. He came all the way. He loves sleep so much. The listeners of this show so much. And I guess he loves me. I really don't. I'm really not comfortable with that level of, admittance. But who else would travel to a somewhat remote area? I don't know. You probably have. Do you have a G6 that you fly in? He's rolling his eyes. What do you got? A G8 or something? Was it Kesha that was flying in a G6? He doesn't know that. Oh, yeah, but there is an airport nearby. Are there electrical planes yet? So I don't know how he got here. I just know that he's here. It's our Hollywood announcer, Mr. Antonio Banderas. The friends beyond the binaries, the ladies, the gentlemen, the boys, the girls, the cardinals, Scooter and his family, and all you listeners out there, it's time for me to take you to the beginning of the story here in the car with Scooter for Multiplex. Yeah, thanks, Antonio. He came here because, we're dealing with stuff, and he's here to support me. All I can say is you're beside me right now. So thanks, Antonio, and this is Multiplex. Good evening, everyone. My name's Wyatt, and I'm here recording this audio for y'all to listen to. I guess at one point, I guess you're listening to it now, though. If I'm recording this because I'm telling a tale of adventure, but a tale I feel has never been told, and to kind of set the record straight. And I recorded quite a few of these audios, but this may be the first one you're listening to. This is a tale of my friends and I adventuring in a shopping mall in a multiplex. And the reason I'm telling this tale is twofold. One, it's a pretty great adventure. My friends and I, it's a big adventure where we go on together. And I feel like the result of the adventure, though, is what's important to me because, a lot of adventures are about people get, greatness, and people achieving greatness or overcoming something. And that's like their greatness is all the challenges in their path, or some of the characters or people you hear, they get greatness, and other people, they have different tales. So maybe someone ends the adventure on a high and somebody else ends the adventure on a low. This tale for me and my friends is where we all kind of end the adventure in the middle, or eventually, like, because we were just out of high school or just graduating high school. And we were all on a path, since, probably since middle school, since we had shown aptitude for different things and we had the right support systems, we had belief in ourselves, confidence, different things. We all had different areas of that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to generalize it for you, but we're all headed towards the halls of Ivy. And a lot of the stuff you would associate that comes with that, like we were all accepted and expecting to go for college, expected to achieve even more after college. And I guess when they say the world's your oyster, I don't know if that's exactly what they mean, but the world seemed to be our oyster, ready for us to open it up and have, we would already have pearls of wisdom. I don't know. But after going on this adventure, our paths changed. We all kind of led what you would call ordinary lives. I'd say there's something extraordinary about that because I'm living one, or I've lived one, but it's just, you never hear about it, this great adventure, and you say, you know what? I'm going to go mow, after that, I'm going to go mow the lawn, and then have a cup of lemonade, and somebody else, wow, after doing that, we really, I'm going to do a crossword, and do a little bit of lawn. I think I'm going to change my shoelaces, and then maybe lie down for a little while. Most people after an adventure probably could use new shoelaces and lie down after a little while. But that's not what, this is a great adventure to achieve, to be one among many. The other reason I'm telling it is a little bit quicker. This is a tale about iconic autumnal figures. And, back a long time ago, I had a public access show where I would show autumnal films or science fiction films. And what public access means is just a local show, not even professionally produced, kind of like a podcast or something, but video. But it was only available locally, and I would interview people like going to comic conventions, or just wrote a book, or characters from the movies or other movies. And a lot of people I got to interview, I knew, and everyone now, but all the tapes of what I record, my public access show ended up on the internet, and I got really somewhat popular. I'm a niche popularity. But people thought I was a makeup artist or an improv expert. And none of that's true. It was just friends of mine that I met on this adventure. So I also wanted to kind of set the record straight that I'm not some like expert at practical effects. In fact, I would wish I was. My life would be, I would have lived a different life. But I'm pretty happy with the life I've lived. But I mean, I guess I'd say, well, sounds pretty cool though. So yeah, that's what I'm here to tell you is that tale of the tale. Oh, so that's why I'm telling the tale. This is a tale of two friends of mine, Santos and Josie, and another friend of ours, Boyd, the corncob kid, and we went into a shopping mall that had been closed for some time in order to get some Julius J. Juice concentrate that had been left behind in the mall when it closed and the store closed. But once we got in the mall to do that, and we were going to sell it on what would be the internet, but once we got in the mall to do that, we realized something else was at play. We thought it was an interactive adventure, interactive theater thing, where there was workers in the mall, the stores were stocked, and there was characters from movies walking around that needed our assistance. But quickly we learned that it was real because the mall was above or mixed in with a transverse plane, kind of intersection of universes. Also, time at the mall was passing at a different rate than in the real world, so we wouldn't be missed even if we're in the mall for like 40 days. And we also learned that there was someone running things behind the scenes, the Crispy Commander from Cereal, Breakfast Time, Commander Crunch, Crispy Commander. And he had tried to... He had fallen in love with an actress from one of his commercials, and he had tried to get her there to come for... he was very childish, even though he was a cereal icon. And he seemed to be... We still couldn't figure out everything that was going on, but the Crispy Commander was up to something. More than just trying to... We couldn't quite figure it out. Like, we knew the Crispy Commander had fallen in love with someone that had been in their cereal commercial. They didn't really know the difference between acting and reality. But also, since we had decided not, we were like, well, you can't just take an actress. Oh, because the Crispy Commander told her that he was running an acting camp at the mall. For adults, like she was in grad school, I think, or had graduated from grad school. And we said, you can't really do that. And then the Crispy Commander said, well, I'm in love, that whole thing. It's something like that. So we dissuaded her from coming. And the Crispy Commander was seriously not happy with us and then started, okay, so when you start a movie at this mall, things happen in the multiplex. So movies had been started like The Mommy, that lived in the age of pyramids and stuff like that. Wrapped in tattered things. And so then we saw The Mommy at the mall, or The Count of Chocolate, or Frankie, the Amalgamated Being, or Franny, the Amalgamated Being, or The Person Who Couldn't Be Seen. And so they all needed our help, but then if we helped them, they would become cereal commercials. And originally we told the Crispy Commander presented themselves as someone who needed help at first and said, help me make these cereal commercials and I'll make sure you get paid. I know that's why you're here. So a lot of confusing stuff. I mean, especially for people that are just like 17, 18 years old. We're in a mall. We're not supposed to be in magical things that are happening. And, but we got to work and had helped. And then the Crispy Commander, the Crispy Commander started a movie called Chopping Town Mall, which is about robots at a mall. And those robots had run around the mall and chased us. But at some point, we got the idea, I think the person who couldn't be seen maybe had the idea, or maybe we did, to dress up like to have costumes with long hair where we could be seen as a girl, the actress. So we like when I last left off with this story, I think that's where we were. We had just gone to the Secrets of My Success store escaped some of the robots, and then the invisible person, the person who couldn't be seen, showed up. And we decided we'll all dress up like the girl. That'll create confusion. Obviously, the Crispy Commander's not going to let any robots run around the mall from a movie called Shopping Town Mall. We all dress up. But before we did that, I had to apologize to my friends, which I'd kind of already done. And as we were all dressing up, even the person who couldn't be seen, I said, listen, you know, I know now's, and maybe I already told you this, but I said, you know, I guess it'll have to be a quick apology, but I'm really sorry for my behavior, and I'm happy to make amends for how I behaved. And I know I need to get some, my parents are trying to get me because I had taken things that didn't belong to me from all my friends and businesses, and then I would break those things, and it wasn't out of spite, but I could see how anyone would perceive it that way, like especially my friends. I'd taken things that were valuable to them and destroyed them, and kept it a secret too. And they kind of said, you know, as I said, you know, and I kind of talked about that. I mean, I knew what I did. What I didn't know was why, or I was also afraid that since it was, I either couldn't understand it, that other people wouldn't understand it, especially my friends, and I had to keep it a secret because it was so baffling and so counter to how we're told to behave in the world of rules, right? I was breaking rules, but not even for a reason I understood. And, my friend said, you know, I wish you would have known. We would have got, you know, we would have made sure you got the help you needed. And now we were worried about you anyway, and your sister, because I didn't realize, but anyway, so because my sister had gone to the big, you know, she was my kind of my idol, and she had gone over the Rainbow Bridge and stuff. Anyways, it's probably the time to be sharing it because we're in the middle of an adventure. But, you know, we all hugged. Even the person who couldn't be seen was standing there listening to me give about where I came clean and about and now look at this is only looking back. But I didn't quite realize, even if you watch a movie about the person who couldn't be seen, the first one, they behave in a similar way. I mean, it's a little bit more, you know, movieized, but they kind of, they're rebellious in a way they're so non-additive to the world, but they're not just selfish. And I don't know, we'd had all theories about why someone would behave that way, and I didn't realize, I kind of behaved in a parallel way to that. So anyway, we all made apologies, but then, you know, we were trying to hurry up and do it, and hugs and tears and that kind of thing. But we were like also, I mean, and we're all, you know, we were pretty good functioning. And I mean, the person who couldn't be seen in the film, they're kind of a genius. So we said, well, what should we do? We broke it down. Okay, here's our options, or maybe we should do all of these. Catch the Crispy Commander. But then what are we going to do with the Crispy? Call adults, which we'd already tried to do. Cut the power to the mall because we can't have any more movies started. So, and then we said it would break all the projectors of all the movies. And we kind of didn't know what would happen to the person who couldn't be seen because we had promised to try to get them back in their movie. And they also didn't want to be a cereal, made into cereal. And so the person who can't be seen said, okay, we'll run around the mall and I'll try to figure out where the Crispy Commander is. And all you get to the multiplex, and, you know, if you see a way to call any adults, that's fine. But, why don't you try to figure out the power and start breaking the projectors? Yeah, break into all the projector rooms. But we got to figure out what to do about the other people you helped. Because I know you had theories, but we don't have much time either. And so we said, holy cow, all right. And I don't know if I'd filled y'all in on this, but so we you know, like a team, we said, okay, let's go. And we ran towards the multiplex, and we had to take a couple sideways. The person who could be seen, they didn't vanish because could be seen now. They looked like they had long hair, like they were dressed as someone for the autumnal season. And we said, okay, well, maybe we should go into the theaters first, like where we started, right? So we went into the movie theater where the mommy was playing, right? And the movie had stopped, and I think we'd already looked at the film, but we got out the film, right? And we pulled the film, and I said, okay, the end is like the serial part, right? Like, what would happen if we like played the movie and rewound it while it's playing to get them out of will that get them out of the serial realm? And then we cut that part out of the movie, like grab some scissors. Now, this wasn't my idea. I'm just presenting as a group idea, but really this was Josie's idea because Josie had taken some film editing classes and told us this is how they edit film. And I said, what? They cut it and tape it back together? What the heck? Which I would learn later on. Or you would record tape to tape, but things change. Nowadays, it's all digital. So in the Mommy's movie, we did that. And Boyd was trying to figure out where the breaker was. But we really didn't want to separate either. But Boyd was like, let me try to figure out where the breaker for the movie theaters are. And we said, like, okay, yeah, come back if you find it or whatever. So, because, we're afraid what happened is the Crispy Commander had said they had all the all the autumnal films for this year for some sort of autumnal film festival where that's where the robots were from, the security bots. So, okay, so basically what happened was, and I mean, again, it happened a long time ago, so I'm giving you the summary. So we rewound the movie, right? Where the mommy had gone from, because when you say, how did you help them in the first place? Well, all their movies, even though it's called The Mommy, right? She wasn't the star of the movie. She was the one that everybody in the movie was trying to, she was the reason people came to the movie, right? But she wasn't the star of the movie, and the movie would end, as would all the other movies, with them with big frowny face, right? And this was the thing the Crispy Commander offered. It's like you get them back in the movies, you solve their problems so the people in the movie aren't mad at them anymore. And then somehow they become a cereal commercial. I don't know. I don't know. Beyond my comprehension. We just wanted to help them get back in their movies so they weren't... And now I'm like, man, these movies would probably be pretty unwatchable then. But that even makes it better because so we rewound the movie, right? Back, and then the mommy came into the movie. And we're up there. And then it's like, then Joe's like, okay, wait a second. Like, so we rewound it enough, but we weren't rewinding it. We were playing it backwards, basically. And then once we got it back, Joe said, okay, stop and hit play, and then let's get ready to cut the tape. But then when we started playing, the mommy from the movie started directly addressing us, right? And the mommy kind of said, like, thank you, like, for getting me out of that serial realm. It's not where I'm meant to be. And that Crispy Command. So the mommy kind of had an idea what was going on, maybe because the mommy was in the serial realm. And the mommy said, thank you for helping me know myself and be curious. And now I'm more curious about my motivations and my desires. And you really taught me that inquiring, like, I guess this was like, I mean, the mommy had a lot of time to think about it and only a few seconds to thank us. But But, now when I look into my, I'm not going to be chasing feelings or swept up in feelings as often. If I, wherever I end up, maybe now I get to be in my world. Like, kind of like I said, now, again, as an adult, I say the fully realized character that wasn't fully realized in the movie, which would make a good movie. I mean, again, this is like why I'm telling this adventure, because I'm not saying I'm fully realized. But you're saying, how'd you end up a person among persons? Well, kind of like that. I mean, maybe the mommy in the movie world of the mommy is just, I don't know, like helping people do stuff. And so then the mommy said goodbye. Then we cut the film, the projector part of the film, rewound the movie the rest of the way, took the film off the projector, smashed the projector. Then we left the theater, right? And then Boyd met us and said, I found the breaker. And there's still a movie running in one of the other theaters that we're locked out of. And Boyd said the doors to that theater are open. And Boyd said, I didn't go in there. I'm not going in there solo. And Boyd said, I cut the power to the rest of the theaters, though, other than the ones we needed, and the one where the movie was still playing. I don't know. We thought maybe it was we hadn't been in that theater. The movie had been playing the whole time. And Boyd said, I don't think the Crispy Commander's going to know that the power's out or where it buys more time, basically. So then we did the same thing with Franny's movie, right? We rewound it, and then Franny made talk to us too. And you might say, Wyatt, sometimes you forget to call yourself Wyatt and you call yourself Boyd. I'd say, yeah, I do. Boyd was quite an impressive character. But yeah, these are kind of the things we learned. I mean, these lessons would stay with us, and these lessons that we were learning from these characters changed the course of our lives. So when I summarize them, it may sound like a little bit, like a summary of wisdom, because it was wisdom being imparted to us. But, Franny, who was an amalgamated being, said, thanks for reminding me I can't change exactly, everything about me. There's only some things I can change, and I can't change other people. I have to accept them. And maybe I could realize that people are going to people are going to people. That's what you might say nowadays. But, even if they're harsh, even if they're sizzling, even if they turn away from me as an amalgamated being, I can't change that. I can only change me and how I behave. And you kind of helped me learn that. And then the Franny was free. We cut Franny's film, rewound it, took the film. We hid the tapes in the projector rooms where we didn't think Crispy Commander could find them, and we broke that projector. Then we did the same thing with the Count of Chocolates movie. And the Count basically said to us, thanks for teaching me how to pause and slow down, to move like a syrup. Now syrup in your world would be chocolate flavored, not real chocolate, by the way. The Count even gave us a hard time about that, but said, if I could learn to flow like that instead of rush, and just go and not go with the flow, but to slow down and instead of trying to make things happen. Thanks for teaching me that, which is okay, I guess so. But now the other thing, as we did this one, was wait a second. The other thing we're learning from them is that we can't change the Crispy Commander. And so we had 3 movies down, 1 movie left, but this was a person who couldn't be seen's movie, and we were waiting to see them. And this is when we were we got the film ready. All we had to do was get the person who couldn't be seen into the movie. And so we got the film ready, but we hadn't seen it, and we waited for them for a little while. But they didn't come back. We said, do we have to use the same projector? Should we take the film? what should we do? And then we said, Boyd was like, let's go to this other theater quick and just see what's going on in there. Like, I got a feeling it's important. And this whole time we were like, well, what are we going to do about the Crystal Commander? The Crystal Commander's not from our world. How do we get them back? Like, we can't, even if we have adults, it would rock the entire planet to learn that a serial icon's real. No one would, like, I mean, also we were feeling pretty strongly about, but it's like, how are you going to punish someone from another world, you know? And so then we went into this movie, and it was pretty clear the movie that was playing was the Shadow of the Opera House. You know, the old Shadow of the Opera is always there in the opera, only there in the Opera House. So it moved, you know, change seats if you mind. And we said, is this a Crispy Commanders movie? But then we learned, like, so then we were in there, we're watching the movie, right? And again, it's going to play on a loop over and over again. Or is it, is the Shadow of the Opera there in somewhere in the mall? Is it someone we just haven't encountered? But then we saw on the other side of the room was a whole setup, like where the Crispy Commander had a, like it was camcorder, so it wasn't professional, but was setting up a whole little studio and even had some of the play like tapes, not just movies, like TV setup, VCRs, beta. And we started to check that out. And what we realized was there were the tapes of the actress, her commercials and her other works. And we were like, okay. And they even had like her reel, like with her name on it and everything, like in a VHS cassette tape case. And that's when we heard somebody come in. And all we saw was a wig, and we said, okay, it's a person who couldn't be seen. And we were like, is this this is a Shadow of the Opera? Like, are they here? And the person who couldn't be seen said, is it Crispy Commander? And we said, like, the Crispy Commander's a Shadow of the Opera? And the person who couldn't be seen said, no, like about the situation, which was that the Crispy Commander was in the projection booth of the the person who couldn't be seen's film. And he said, you got to stop him, get him back into his movie. And we said, okay, but how? And then the invisible person said, I'm sorry for how I behaved in my world and your world. I mean, but mostly my world. I wish I could go back to my world like you did and tell people I was wrong and I didn't understand why I was acting the way I was, but that I was still sorry for it and I would still try to make it right. Though again, that wouldn't be a very interesting. It was, you know, my movie's more interesting the way I was, I guess. And so yeah, it'd be reinvented in an interesting way too. But it still wouldn't go good for the person who couldn't be seen, like anyway, because they're never. But yeah, so I don't know if any of us want to watch you going around town being nice to people, or I mean, would you still create invisibility? You think? And then the Crispy Commander, the person who couldn't be seen says, "I got to say goodbye because it's." And we said, "What do you mean?" And then like I don't know if you've ever seen a movie. Or of what happens to film when it gets caught on the projector light and it starts to, but this was happening to the person who couldn't be seen in front of us because somewhere the Crispy Commander was warming the film permanently of the person who couldn't be seen. And because we had already wondered if that was the only way. And so the person who couldn't be seen was gone from our world. I don't know if it meant from all worlds or just our world, but, and we said, wow, that makes me like that, Crispy Commander even less. And then we said, but this is the Crispy Commander's movie then. And I said, okay, well, I guess it's kind of like the plot of the Shadow of the Opera. But how did he become when did he enter the series? Like, there's something doesn't make sense. And we said, well, we got to get him back in the movie. And then we're like, we'll never get him back in the movie. He'll never go back there. He wants to stay here. And then we said, and meet the girl of his dreams, the girl he's in love with. And they were like, well, what do you mean? And I said, I've got an idea. And they said, what? And I said, trust me, this will work. And I took the tape out of the case. So back then, when you got a VHS tape, it came in a protective case, even though it was in its own protective case, like a box. And I took the box. I said, Boyd, put this in your back, put it, behind your back, hide it. And right after we did that, who came in the room but the Crispy Commander? And the Crispy Commander said, you made a huge mistake, and your friend will never, ever no longer be seen. And then the Crispy Commander kind of put on a fit, which I don't really, feel like doing. But, we had kind of posited that the Crispy Commander was incredibly immature, right? That the Crispy Commander was just a tween at best. And that's why he thought that he could create an acting camp and that he could like that just because he liked the way someone ate cereal in a commercial, that they would be and that they could somehow talk to that person and say, by the way, we could make this work. I'm a cereal icon come to life. And you're, you're a human. Well, actually, you're just you're a human that was playing a role of a person that, that kind of immature thinking. So the Crispy Commander, really put on a fit. We're really yelling at us, tears of frustration. And, we'd seen it all before. We had done it all before. So we just kind of sat there. But then the Crispy Commander was also, incensed at us and telling us how, that the Crispy Commander still had the upper hand. There was things at play beyond we didn't understand, and if we didn't listen, the Crispy Commander would start all the other movies. They were already in the projectors, and you might have thought you were funny breaking all those other projectors, but you didn't break all of them. Now we were like, well, we got the power off. We thought in our heads, And the Crispy Commander said, well, there's a long start to the next film before the character, because we said, oh, wait a second, the person who couldn't be seen in the movie theater still had power. And I'd hate to see what happens. I left some of the doors, some mall open too. So I hope when that movie starts, it's from this year, it's going to be a big hit, they thought. Then I'll start all the other movies. And yeah, I know the power's out in them all. So, or you could help me. We could run up there. We could stop that before the character appears on screen. And, heads to your town or whatever. Maybe heads to where one of your families live and ask for help. You could help me. You could help me get in. And then I said, help you with this. And I held up the audition tape or the whatever it was. I forgot what you call it when you're a performer and you, her reel of acting and stuff like that. And I said, you mean this tape here? Because this tape here is going right into this movie. And the Crispy Commander said, what? And I said, yes, she'll go right into this movie. And the crispy commander says, it's not possible. And we said, well, Josie went into the person who couldn't be seen's movie, so we know it is. And she'll be in there. And the crispy commander says, it's just a tape. And we said, well, I don't know, like, what's going to happen when they find the tape? Like, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. They might throw it away. Or maybe they'll, like, because it happened to be a scene with torches and stuff like that in the shadow of the opera. And I'd say, well, if I was like one of these people searching right now and that thing appeared, some sort of mysterious obelisk from another realm made out of strange material, I'd probably put my torch right to it. And I said, yeah, I might as well throw it in there. And Crispy Commander said, don't you dare, don't, like, you wouldn't do it to her. Like, you might do it to me. And I threw it in there. And it flew onto the screen, and it flew in front of the, I always want to say Jean Valjean, but Jean Valjean's not in that. But that was in France too, right? Like, but Jean Valjean, who wasn't in the movie. And then the Crispy Commander dove into the movie, right? And lo and behold, like, it timed it because it was in the house, right? Below, they were searching below things, right? And my throat just happened to go down, 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 down. So Crispy Commander jumps into the movie. Now, luckily, San and Josie were quick thinking. And as was Boyd. So Boyd ran to the breakers and to shut off the breaker to the other movie. And Santos and Josie ran to the projection room. And it happened to be locked. Now, the Crispy Commander was so fast that the Crispy Commander, like, dove out of the scene, into the scene and out of the scene. And the two characters on the screen were like, I don't know. I mean, again, I know it wasn't Jean Valjean, but they're like, what was that? Like, we got to go, like, was that him, Christine, Raoul? Like, I don't know, something like that. And they went in the direction that Crispy Commander went down these stairs into kind of, it was dark, right? And I was like, hurry, stop the movie, right? Quick. And they ran up there and they stopped the projector. And they stopped it briefly with the light on, but then they turned the light out, right? Because they're, good people. And then I heard him rewind the tape and pull it out, and they brought it down. And then Boyd said all the other power's out. And then we went up and we smashed that projector. And we're like, holy cow. And we kind of sat down, right? Because we were like, I think we did this. Crispy Commander's in this movie. And we have the tape. We have the other tapes hidden. We're like, okay, we'll smash the rest of the projectors, right? Now, the workers were also coming from the train. We were like, workers had appeared from the transverse plane too. But we were mostly worried about, like, going and smashing the rest of the projectors, right? But we were just going to catch our breaths because we said, we're free, right? And it's kind of like, experience said, you really don't, you can't ever make sense of, even now, far removed. I can see why, we weren't quick to action, right? And we were all kind of laughing and being like, and then Boyd pulled out the tape. So we said, okay, well, it's just a case. I said, do you think the Crispy Commander turned into the Shadow of the Opera? Like, or what happened to the tape and the film? Does it make a difference? Is that going to disrupt? We're kind of talking. And then somebody, I think it was Santos, said, wait a second, you hear that? And I said, heard what? I said, the phone is ringing. And we said, what do you mean the phone's ringing? And I said, in the projector room, I can hear the phone ring. And, you know, like the door to the projector room was closed. It's hard to hear stuff because, so if somebody's talking in the projector room, right? But we said, okay, well, let's go answer it. I mean, first we were kind of like, maybe are we going to get in trouble? It's got to be some kind of adult calling. But we were all so relieved. So we went up there, and they all looked at me, and they said, go ahead and answer it. And I picked up the phone. I could tell you that I don't know if there was dialogue in the shadow of the opera. But as soon as I heard the voice on the other end, I knew it was the shadow of the opera on the phone. And even my friend said, who's on the phone? And I said, the shadow of the opera is on the phone, is on this phone. And they thought I was joking. And I said, no, really. And then, because the person just said, hello, Wyatt. I mean, not even like that. Like, it was way more melodious and calm, but with the underlying, like, deep water runs, still water runs deep, especially at night. And I said, they said, well, they said, nice job with the Crispy Commander. And I said, thank you. And I said, what do you want? And they said, your work isn't finished. It's only just begun. And I said, where are you? And they said, on the phone with you. And I said, okay. And I said, what do you mean? I said, nice try with the breakers, but I've already started all the other projectors. I'm sorry to tell you, you've accelerated my plans. And I said, but we got the Crispy Commander, and we got Franny and everything. And what do you want? Like, why are you doing that? And they said, well, stay tuned. Why don't you rest right now? Rest for a while. Because I'm gonna I've got plans for the four of you. The shadow of the opera said, you'll make fine replacements for that serial FOLL. But for now, get some rest. Maybe sometime from now. I mean, I think for me, telling you this tale, be honest, it's a good time for me to rest this tale, hang up my mic for some time. Because, we had what I thought was like this is, this was like one adventure. I guess another one was about to begin. And I guess I need some time in between telling these adventures. But, yeah, we had got the Crispy Commander back in the movie. And for a brief time, we thought all was well. But just like any trip to the multiplex, there's always a second story waiting out there somewhere. I mean, I guess if I was going to tell it in a fictionalized way, it would have been the credits of the movie would have rolled. Then the phone would have rang. And I should have said, look on the screen, Wyatt. And it said, coming to a sleep podcast near you sometime in the future. But, that's not the case. That is the case, actually. So it's Wyatt. I'll see you down the road. You be good. Be kind. It's okay not to be perfect, and sometimes life's baffling. But you don't got to be great. Just be you, right? And it's good talking to you for a while. And I appreciate all you, and I'll talk to you again soon in some time. Thanks. Everybody, Scoots here. I'm tucking you in with tonight's sponsor, Helix. But I want you to picture me getting tucked in at night right now. I'm getting tucked into my Helix Dusk Luxe. It's listening to right in the other room. It's laying there, waiting for me to climb in at night. Tonight I'm going to get comfortable. I'm going to pull my covers up to my chinny chin. And yeah, I sleep on my side. I sleep on my stomach. And I love sleeping in my Helix. It's so comfortable. It fits the way I sleep. And I can see myself there. Oh, yeah. There you go on your side. You look so comfortable there, Scoots. And I didn't notice as I tuck you in. Good night, Scooty Poo. Talking about myself in the third person. But I've noticed in the 4+ years you've been sleeping in this Helix, your sleep is a lot better. And we look at this summer, and every time you go out of town, no matter how nice the bed is you're in, you don't get as good a sleep as in your Helix Duskalux, do you? But most of all, you don't look forward to it. You don't have that reassurance. I know I'm comfortable in this mattress. I know whether I'm sleeping on my side or my stomach or I'm laying on my back, I'm going to feel the right amount of support and comfort. And the other thing is, I know if I recommend a Helix to somebody else, it's going to fit their needs because they're going to take that quiz at helixsleep.com/sleep, and they're going to get matched with a mattress based on how they like to sleep, their sleep preferences, their feel preferences. Or they could take it with their partner and find out what mattress is going to work for both of them. So don't miss out. Maybe you could picture yourself tucking yourself in not that long in the future. Look at how comfy old Scooty Poo is. Scooty Poo took that Helix quiz, got matched with the Helix Dusk, picked the Dusk Lux. And Helix has so many different mattress models to choose from. So picture you taking that quiz, just 2 minutes, and then you can picture yourself tucked in, comfortable. I don't know, which mattress model do you get matched with? I'd love to hear about it. So take that quiz at helixsleep.com/sleep, because right now Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders when you use our link. That's helixsleep.com/sleep. And let me know after you take the quiz. Which Helix model did you get matched with? And are you picturing yourself tucking yourself in? Oh boy, you look comfortable too. Good night, everybody.